Get into the game with Garden Swords Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms, and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swords Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swords Team Sales.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Special guest today is Adrian Ortega, the head basketball coach at Atrisco Heritage, also the 2019 5A state champions. How's that sound?
That sounds fantastic.
Well, what a year! I mean, you come into the year, and I always like to talk about your thoughts going before coming into this year and where you thought you were, and then how it all kind of worked out.
Well, our expectation was, just to get to the pit. We were coming off a state title the year before, obviously, and we knew that a lot of teams were gunning for us, but we kept our goals minimum, and we just felt like if we get to the pit, then our experience will help, and let's just see what happens. That was kind of our motto. We just said, let's just see what happens when we get there.
Well, you said getting that's easier. That's harder said than done because of your district. I mean, you think about your district. It may be, I'll just go up. It's probably the toughest district in the state the last couple of years.
Absolutely.
And the reason I say that is because the state champions is coming out of it. I mean, Volcano wins the state champion. You win the state champion. Cleveland was in the finals. I'm just saying,
Right.
The last couple of years. I'm just saying, you look at the last 5 years, and it's somebody out of your district is usually in the finals of the state championship.
And you can't underestimate the coaching, and we can't forget about Ray Rodriguez either. He has a young team that was real inexperienced, but I mean, he's one of the best coaches in the state. I mean, you look at Greg Brown, Wally, Sean. It's just such a competitive district, and like I said, we were actually. One possession away from being in district champs. I don't know if I don't think very many people realize that, but we lost in overtime to Rio Rancho at the
beginning of the year
on a call that was at the first game in district on a call that was we fouled and Brady made 2 free throws and that was the game over. But we win that game. We're tied for district champions. We tied for second, but it was a fun district. It's very competitive and. We came out strong.
You're talking about Ray. There's a team that's going to be a team to be reckoned with next year. I mean, if you think about it, he had all freshmen basically and sophomores and playing on again against a very tough district foes and are dominated by seniors and juniors he's going to be back next year. It's a team that's going to be under the radar, and people, that are not in the basketball world, but the people in the basketball world know he's going to be very talented next year.
Agreed. And again, our district doesn't get any easier. It's just everybody reloads, and we got to do it again. You
and I had talked over the year. This year, it was every game. It was what's so great about your district is like. You got to be prepared every night going into that district. You can't go in and take one night off because, and you're a perfect example. I mean, I guess when I that first game to Rio Rancho was at your home, and I think that's the most important thing is to win at home, and then in your district is split on the road. If you can do that, then you're going to be right there in contention of winning the whole thing.
Well, I was, and I will say this, I believe that we have the best home court advantage because our community comes out to our games. With all this controversy with cheer and dance, I will tell you that our dance coach, who also won state this year, and our cheer coach, who took second in co-ed, they were at almost every game. And I know there's this disparity, regarding spirit and in competition. Our cheer and dancers, they support sports at our school, and I think that's really important when it comes to spirit. And not only that, if you came to our gym, it was packed houses. We went to other gyms. I can't say that in our district. It was good basketball, but what I was most proud of is our community and our cheer and our dance and our student body came out to our games, and that's a huge benefit when you have that.
Well, almost, and that just doesn't just go for your district games. It goes for almost every game. Then, I mean, anybody that comes into your gym, it's a playoff atmosphere when you just walk into it. I mean, I know that when I walk in, you can just kind of feel the energy that, you know, we're all human beings, but it's neat to come into a gym where it's like there's excitement and there's adrenaline going on, and the band's going and the cheerleaders are going, and then if you come out with a win, it's even better. So.
Yeah. It's you know, Zach Cole mentioned that when he played us last year in the first round. I think Roswell noticed that in the first round of state. So, like I said, we're trying to create, and I think we're very close to similar to what Valley has as far as their home court. You know, the North Valley comes out for them, and I think we're really close, if not, you know, even with those guys as far as community support.
Well, you know, coming into this to the state tournament, I mean, you had a tough district, come in tied for second, I guess you would say, you know, and then you go to the selection of the seeding and get a seven seed, and you and I had talked, and it was just a matter, really, it was, hey, we got a home court game, and that's the importance of where we're at right now, and then we'll go prove ourselves in the state tournament. And that was kind of your attitude when I talked to you, so, you know.
And we actually got the 6th seed, but
Always the 6th seed.
We felt like we were going to be a little bit higher. Our preparation was actually gearing up for Capital. But yeah, like you said, we can't sit here and cry about it. Only one team wins, and we were lucky enough to win it. But you know,
well, you take that attitude. You know, hey, just bring the game to us. We're going to have to play them one way or the other. It's great to be number one, number two, but it's also got to be. It's good to be underneath the radar too.
You know, the way we look at it as a coaching staff is we have a week to prepare for whoever. So, you know, we do our homework and we figure it out, and we come up with a game plan and we go with it. Like I said, a lot of people say a seed's just a number. I mean, it's a fact. Sometimes it's disappointing, but we can't sit there and complain, or we can't sit there and be a victim about it. We just got to go play whoever's next, you know.
Well, we're going to go to the Dream Style Top 10 Plays of the Week and come back and talk more about Atrisco Heritage quest for the state championship.
By Gabby O'Hara, number 35. Corner three's up, and it's good. Good move to the basket. Alyssa. Shot is up, and it's good. Mark back to check that. It's not Benally, it's Gallegos. Shot goes up. This time she gives it up to her teammate, who spins and scores. Thinks twice about the three, penetrates, splits the double team. To Marcus, he's not afraid, he penetrates, puts it up with a back, bringing it up. Is she going to take it all the way? And indeed she does. Lays it up, and good by Estrella Sanchez. Offensive rebound, but there's a countdown. He goes, oh, the block. Get that out of here. Mackey puts it up.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Hey, welcome back to the Steve Davis Show. We got Adrian Ortega, head basketball coach at Atrisco Heritage, and 2019 5A state championships. And we got some highlights here. You can take over here. We're playing Roswell at your home place, number 6 seed. A very explosive Ramos.
He's kind of mastered that step back, and he fears no one, so he's our guy.
You get him in transition, and he can beat you. And we're seeing right now, he's just, if you step back on him, he's going to hit that 3 on you.
And he was struggling with his shot in the latter part of district because I think he was trying to elevate too high and release a little late. And we kind of worked on that entire week, and he came out gunning in the state tournament, along with Rivas there as well.
And you and I talked about Roswell, a team that I don't think that you've seen a lot of over the year, but you were concerned about they're young and you needed to put them away early.
Yeah, they and we couldn't up until the fourth quarter. They came out, these games. I mean, again, look at our crowd. That's what I'm really happy about with our community. I mean, it's only one game, but look at it, the bleachers are packed. But Roswell's a team that's going to be real good next year as well. And of course, there's DeMarcus always rebounding, and Rivas kind of just got started. He was flying under the radar, and everybody knows what happened in the pit with him.
Tell you what, and then Ramos just kind of he's like a magician. I always say that when I'm doing his games, but some of his stuff is you just kind of expect it to happen when you're commentating on it. Now you win that game, things are feeling pretty good, and then you go into the pit, or the Green Style Arena of the pit, and that's kind of a place you're well known to be there. I mean, you think talk about your accolade. You just said it in the deal. It's pretty impressive over the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, we were in the finals 5 years ago and we lost to Valley. Prior to that, when we opened up the school, our second year, we lost to Santa Teresa in the semis. And then prior to winning the back-to-back state titles, we lost to Volcano in the semifinals. So we've had 5 Final Four appearances. But leading on into this game, we were really excited. And we were real grateful that we got to play Rio Rancho because we had a real bitter taste in our mouth. Through district, we felt like we should have won the first game. And the second game, we just got destroyed because we didn't play team basketball. And I thought that was really eye-opening for us. We took a ton of bad shots. We didn't play as a team. And we got killed. But I felt really good going into the pit playing against Rio Rancho. Either way, Wally does a really good job. I just felt like this is the matchup that we wanted.
Here it is right here, the first game in the pit. And it just seems, again, here's Ramos doing his thing, and but here's the thing, we talk about Ramos, but everybody knew their role in this team, and it just seemed like during the state tournament, everybody contributed at the perfect time.
Well, he plays with so much energy, and there's a little pick and pop action because Rio Rancho does, they trap Ramos a lot or they'll switch a lot, and I just thought the execution, I thought the boys just really, really focused, and they followed the game plan. Again, we talk about Ramos, but Ramos had 15 assists in this game. I don't know if you knew that. I think it was 25 points with 16 assists, which is phenomenal. And Crawford didn't miss a basket.
Well, I think that was, Crawford has been, sometimes very valuable, and sometimes has been really, really kind of a non-factor on the offensive. Always plays defense, but I'm just saying, for you to win, you had to have other people to score besides Ramos, and I think Rivas and Crawford stepped up, and his shooting percentage for this tournament was unbelievable. I remember that. It seemed like every time he shot it, it was like automatic.
Unreal. He played behind Jordan Arroyo for the last 3 years, so he came in inexperienced, but he also came in with a chip on his shoulders. Because the knock on us was, you don't have a big man, you can't win it without a big man. And he took that personal. His work ethic was phenomenal, which I couldn't say that for his first 3 years. But this year in practice, I mean, he got people going, and he was our enforcer. And, the thing about him is it was very difficult for traditional bigs to keep him off the glass because he's not a sit down on the block guy. He's a real active guy, almost like a four-man. But all of them, like you said, it was a pure team effort, and they all played with a ton of confidence.
Well, I was watching, and I think the biggest thing I watch in games before games is I watch the kids' attitudes. Okay, I mean, and they came in. They were very humble. But they came in with confidence. They had a little walk the talk or whatever. They had that little bounce in their step that this is. they're going to take it away from us, okay, to move on. And that, I just want to congratulate you on, you brought that to them. When they came in, they thought they were number one seed. They're going to win the state tournament, and that's how their mentality was set.
And you're absolutely right, Steve. They, they talked about that amongst themselves. And again,
I didn't know this, but I'm just saying.
they did.
I was like, 'cause I'm very big. When I come down and talk with you, I watch the warm-ups on every game I do, and I can tell if teams are ready to play, and teams who are kind of, second guessing them. It's the body chemistries, and they came in with a purpose, and it showed in warm-ups. And that's something you might build on in the future, but it showed in versus some other games during the year that you did. They came in. They had, and I wouldn't say they had a chip on the shoulder. They came in with pride of what the Atrisco heritage has you brought into the table. But I'm just saying they came in with this is our house. I mean, it was like this is our home court.
And this is, those are the type of things that we practice. I mean, we practice everything. We practice warm-ups. And I'm glad you noticed that because a lot of people don't. It is that warm-up that counts, If our kids aren't sweating.
And you're a part of that warm-up. You're shaking
Absolutely.
their hands, you're talking to them. You hate seeing me come over.
That's right.
I know. I'll leave them alone. Notice I don't come over. I just want to make appearances to make you uptight a little bit there. But it's so neat to see that happen.
Yep.
Well, you win that game, and then here's another district play team that you just got to playing a couple of weeks before, Cleveland High School.
Well, when the seedings came out, we just felt like it was going to be, it was interesting that Cleveland matched up with Oñate, seeing that Las Cruces was undefeated, and we just felt like if we can come out of this side of the bracket, we're going to be in really good shape. We knew that Volcano was on that side. Santa Fe's upset was pretty incredible, but Cleveland got us in the district tournament, and they got us really easy. And we felt like if we could keep it close, because the games that we did win, it was a 1-possession, 2-possession game, and we felt like we could keep it close. We have a really good chance. But what a fantastic game! I mean, you talk about.
I tell you what, it's too bad somebody had to lose this game.
Absolutely.
I mean, from a spectators, from doing the broadcast and being up, with and watching this thing and just see the energy of both teams. Because y'all would make a run, they'd come right back at you, and there's Crawford. He's just unbelievable.
And that was actually Crawford's little brother.
Oh, that was brother.
He's a sophomore, so we have him for the next 2 years. And I thought Isaiah Brooks actually grew up. He's our other sophomore. I thought he had a really good tournament as well.
That was an unbelievable shot right there when he turned around and hit that shot. But look, there's a 6-point, Cleveland's up and y'all didn't fold and you fought yourself right back into it.
DeMarcus hit a big 3. And that was the game that put us in overtime. And
does this have thrills when you're going to deal with?
Yeah, and then he travels. And they had one last chance at it, which thank God he didn't make it. But what a game. And if you look at last year's run, we beat Las Cruces in double overtime. So it's kind of almost a pattern in that semifinal game for us to go through overtime, I guess.
Well, Adrian, we're going to come back and we're going to have some highlights on your state championship win and your thoughts and some moments you probably may have forgot about.
Yep.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
High school sports are back. The 2018-19 season kicks off, and you could watch every ProView Network broadcast live on the NFHS network. Every moment, from every game, from every sport, including all NMAA state championships. Get your highly discounted monthly pass now. Go to ProViewNetworks.com and sign up. Watch New Mexico's best.
Hey, welcome back to the Steve Davis Show. We've got Adrian Ortega, the head basketball coach at Atrisco Heritage, 2019 5A state champions. And that sounds good, doesn't it? Back to back. Why don't we throw a little credibility and you know, you go into this last game, Santa Fe, probably the hottest, besides yourself, okay, hottest team. What are your thoughts going in and playing this team? Well coached. I know you have a lot of admiration for him and
Absolutely.
And his team and what he did. I became a follower of them at the Los Lunas. I actually watched them beat Los Lunas down at Los Lunas earlier in the end, and I watched them get beat in the Los Lunas tournament by Los Lunas, and I actually saw them beat Cleveland when Cleveland was undefeated at Santa Fe. I drove up and watched it with Sebastian Noel, and so I've been watching this team, and Sebastian Noel is the one who really told me this team's really a top 4 team. And I kind of questioned it in the beginning, but then as I watched those games, I said, this team is, and what Zach Cole has done with this team and just with the fan base is similar to what you've done with the Atrisco Heritage. Because they have packed houses, they have the communities engaged, and so give me some more details about, you know, your going into this game and what your thought was.
Well, we felt like they were a lot like us. You know, they shot a lot of threes. They didn't have a traditional big man with his back to the basket, you know, on the block. But you know what's really fun about this matchup is, and this is important to me, every kid that was on our varsity that was on the floor started at Atrisco Heritage freshman year. These are pure Jaguars, and I think you can say the same for Santa Fe. You know, there's been state titles in the past where you had a transfer come in from, you know, wherever, a Farmington or wherever, and it kind of, you know, helps them out. But again, I talked to Zach about this. What's important for us is you know, these are our kids, and these are the kids that started with us, and these are the kids that we developed, and these are the kids that you know, are brought up in our community. But again, real similar, a lot of threes. And I just, you know, I felt like our experience going in was going to be the difference. You know, a lot of the kids for us, they've been there, obviously. They've been in that game. They knew what to expect from the warm-ups. You know, I felt like Santa Fe went out a little early. I think they were out there with 25 minutes. And we just, you know, we always go out at 15, so we waited till 15. But, you know, we were really concerned about Lovato. We were really concerned with our rebounding and them trapping the rebounds, because, you know, we saw a lot of that in district, but we saw on tape is they really did a good job of taking that outlet pass away. And traditionally we try to get it to Ramos, and we kind of felt like that might give us some problems, but we had a day to practice that. And they you know, they didn't pressure as much as I felt like they were going to, based on the Volcano Vista game, which, you know, the last team that tried to pressure us was Sandia, and I think we scored 103 points.
Well,
so,
maybe
you know, they did their homework,
right,
yeah. So, you know, those are things we were expecting, Steve. But for us, we were really more concerned with us. We weren't going to change what we did. This is what we do. This is who we are. And if we lose, we lose. But we're going in with what got us here.
Well, I kind of think Santa Fe did that too. I mean, they were coming in. I mean, they came in. Look, this is a guard. You know, guard. Both teams are guard orientated with everybody, and let's just do what we do. And you, as we watch these highlights right here with this thing, I mean, you could just see. I mean, you know, again, you know, we've seen a highlight or a high reel of Ramos a lot, but you know,
And I got to give credit to Joe Coleman. That's his play that I stole from him with Rivas with the flare out to the back corner. But you know, I think Dom Rivas was 6 for 7 from 3-point.
Was he on fire?
I mean, he missed one shot. And we don't do it without him.
But you just had everybody stepping up and hitting big time shots, but again, you couldn't get rid of Santa Fe.
No,
I mean, it was like you couldn't play any much better on high octane, and they would come back and answer to you.
Well, I think this is you know, there was 14,000 people there, and credit to Santa Fe for coming out. But this is the type of basketball I think kids want to play, and fans want to see. I mean, we're not reversing the ball around 80 times. You know, I love defense, but I mean, I believe everybody walked out of this game going, wow, you know, what a game. This is the way a championship game should be played.
Well, I think every game you played, you know, probably except for maybe the Rio Rancho game, was like, you're going, wow. Cleveland game was like, wow, can we get any better than this? You know, and what are the expectations? But you could just feel the energy of this gym doing this thing. That you know, of what really.
Absolutely, Stephen. You know, we coached the way that I want to play. Like I say, you know, when I was in high school, I mean, there wasn't a shot that I didn't like. So I think early in my career, it was a little too controlling on offense.
Well, that's what I'm going to talk to you. When you and
Yeah.
I were, I thought you were too. And as you develop, you're saying you give. Let me put it this way. You know when to make that statement as a coach. Okay, that,
Right.
you know, you'll let them go until a certain point,
Right.
and then you'll bring them, reel them in, and read them the rights a little bit, but and say, hey, this is not what we're about, and then hey, we're getting a little bit too cute or whatever
Right.
it is, and that's where you become a great. Here, how about this right here? This is always a moment. You know, there's Rivas.
That's what it's all about. That's why we do it, Steve. I mean, you know, we're fortunate to have two. Some coaches don't get one. Just the feeling of winning two back to back in front of our fans and our families. It's just unreal. It's hard to describe the feeling. I mean, just looking at that, I still get goosebumps on my skin and butterflies in my stomach. It's just something that, you know, these kids will never forget.
And look at your fans in the back. Nobody left. Okay, and I think how, you know, when your name was announced, how did that feel? I mean, I don't know if you were still, but I mean, it was just a roar when your name was. I mean, usually the kids are there, but when your name was announced, that just had to show that, you know, all your hard work over these years.
Well, that's funny, Steve, because I remember when they announced my name at Sandia, it was either dead quiet or maybe some booze, but yeah, you know.
No, I mean, I can talk to you about that because, you know, I know where you started for and what you did, and you know, and it's like a big relief with what you've done with this program.
What a game, you know, what in Santa Fe, wow. Everybody that I talked to that was for us was like, man, we were surrounded by Santa Fe. But I will tell you, the compete with class and the way that the spectators conducted themselves, I was really proud from both sides. Again, I know there's a lot of controversy with the cheer and dance, and there was a lot of unfortunate events that took place with the spectators, but I think that the compete with class that Sally's initiating, I mean, you saw it at the pit. It was just a game that everybody wanted to see. It was played out right. Unfortunately, there was only one winner, but again, I feel like both teams they do it the right way.
I have a question. So, playing that game versus winning, you know, I'm not going to be able to get this statement, and we'll talk to it afterwards. But you know, I just want to thank you for another great year, and then Ramos put a little pressure on you. He's going to go for three. It's a three-peat for him. So a little pressure on the coach here.
Well, you know, we just got to maintain our confidence and continue working and not get comfortable. And if it happens, it happens. But you know, 2 in a row is a dream come true, Steve. And you know, I couldn't be more prouder of our community and our kids and our principals and our Irene Cisneros, our principal, supports athletics so much. Our zone superintendent, Antonio Gonzalez, he was our principal. So, you know, it's just brought a lot of pride to our community. And my goal as the athletic director is I hope it trickles off into some of our other sports, which, you know, they're struggling in this new district, but I see our coaches with the fire. They're working harder, and, you know, we'll rise and we'll meet that challenge, Steve.
I'll tell you what, Adrian, always great. Thanks a lot, and congratulations on the
Thank you so much for having
2019
us. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.